The Food and Drug Administration defines a commercial kitchen as a facility where food is prepared, packaged, or served for consumption outside of the facility. Starbucks stores primarily prepare and serve coffee and other beverages. While they may also offer pastries, sandwiches, and other food items, coffee remains their primary offering. The preparation of coffee, while involving heating and extraction, is generally not considered food preparation and cooking in the traditional sense. Cooking typically involves transformative processes such as grilling, baking, or frying, which are not typically associated with coffee making. Commercial coffee brewing equipment is typically cord and plug connected and can be easily moved within the store. While they may be used regularly, they are not considered permanent facilities in the context of 210.8b2 because they are not permanently installed or affixed to the building structure. Based on the above considerations, it is reasonable to conclude that a Starbucks store does not meet the definition of a commercial kitchen under 210.8b2 of the National Electrical Code. Firstly, coffee preparation is not typically considered food preparation and cooking in the traditional sense. Secondly, commercial coffee brewing equipment is not permanently installed or affixed to the building structure and thus does not qualify as permanent facilities for food preparation and cooking. Section 210.8b2 of the National Electrical Code addresses ground fault circuit interrupter protection for personnel in specific non-dwelling locations. Specifically, it states that ground fault circuit interrupter protection shall be provided for personnel for all single-phase receptacles rated 150 volts to ground or less, 50 amps or less, and three-phase receptacles rated 150 volts to ground or less, 100 amps or less, installed in kitchens or areas with a sink and permanent provisions for food preparation and cooking. This includes locations such as school cafeterias and industrial and commercial facilities. The rationale behind this code requirement is to reduce the risk of electrical shock in areas where water and electrical appliances are likely to be used together. Ground fault circuit interrupters, or ground fault circuit interrupter breakers, are designed to trip quickly when they detect a difference in current between the outgoing and returning conductors, indicating a potential ground fault. This rapid tripping action can prevent serious injury or death from electrical shock. The term permanent provisions for food preparation and cooking implies a dedicated space with installed equipment for these purposes. This might include counters, cooking ranges, ovens, and sinks specifically designed for food handling and preparation. A temporary setup or a simple microwave in an office break room would not typically be considered permanent provisions. Applying this to the context of a Starbucks, it's important to consider the primary function and setup of the establishment. While Starbucks does prepare beverages and offer some food items, its main focus is on coffee and related drinks. The equipment used, such as coffee brewers, espresso machines, and blenders, are not typically considered permanent cooking facilities in the same way as a commercial kitchen with stoves, ovens, and deep fryers. The equipment is often cord and plug connected, allowing for relatively easy relocation and replacement, which is a factor in determining whether it's a permanent installation. Given these points, the application of 210.8b2 to a Starbucks would depend on the specific interpretation and enforcement of the local electrical inspector. However, based on the typical setup and primary function of a Starbucks, it may not be considered a commercial kitchen that requires ground fault circuit interrupter protection for all receptacles, especially if the coffee brewing equipment is cord and plug connected and can be easily moved.